Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal and welcome to the opposition preview for Arsenal against Wolves. We are back again against Wolves one more time. This time it's different. We are the Emirates, but I think it could be good for Dave and Wolves because we've never actually beaten them at the Emirates, which is quite sad. So, Dave, back on the channel again. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am good, very, very good. You were busy last week, obviously, previewing the Arsenal game. You've had to play twice since then. We've only had to play once. So, first question is that straight away. Do you think that will be a factor, the fact that you've played twice since then and you've only played once?
I don't know. I think, of course, it can be, but we've got a much stronger squad, believe it or not. Just in the last 2 weeks or so, we've welcomed back many players. We saw Pedro Neto come back yesterday. We've got Hwang Hee-chan back now, Johnny, the wing back. So the squad's looking good. And part of me always thinks, when you play more games, obviously your players are going to get more tired. It puts a little bit more strain on your squad. But when we were in the Europa League a couple of years ago, I think it actually gave us the momentum to continue playing good football. So I'm hoping it's going to be like that, because we've played, because we've got a couple of wins, we can take that momentum into Thursday's game.
So you would remember 2 weeks ago, I asked you from the next 5 games, how many points will you pick up? In fact, I have the clip. Let's see how many you say.
So the 15 on offer. If we can get at least 7 or 8, Glenn, I think that would be a very, very good return because you're making teams around you drop points as well. So I think if we can win both home games, maybe come 1 or 2 points in the away games, I think I'd be happy. But, if we can win all 5, that'd be great. But I don't think that's going to happen.
So you say 7 or 8. You've already picked up 6. Which is crazy. You actually expected to win the home games. Obviously lost to Arsenal, but then beat Leicester. You didn't expect to win any of the away games, but obviously you beat Tottenham away. So how was that game for you? Did you obviously didn't expect to win, but how was that game for you?
Yeah, well, we were brilliant in that game. 2 early goals, which for us is, it's unlike us. We haven't scored many goals this season. So to grab 2 early goals, it was great, really, and defended and played really well. Could have easily scored another goal as well. Spurs are a tough team. We've just seen them beat Manchester City as well. So to see Wolves get a win, it was fantastic. But yeah, real shock just to see us score those 2 early goals. But I've got full faith in Wolves. If we can score first or get an early goal, then we've got a massive chance of taking points out of these games. So away at Spurs, tough game, but a great win for Wolves.
Believe it or not, we actually enjoyed that game more than Wolves fans. You guys beating Tottenham, we were absolutely buzzing with that. Lloris was all over the place, then Duncan scoring the goals. And obviously, yesterday, you played against Leicester. I did expect you to win that game. So how was it? It was actually tough for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think we made it difficult for ourselves. I don't think Leicester had many clear-cut chances, but we just allowed them to have a little bit too much of the ball. But again, an early goal with Ruben Neves, and that always gives us a massive chance of winning the game. Unfortunately, we gave Tielemans a little bit too much time on the ball, and he played a great ball through for Albrighton, who put it on a plate for Lookman. And Leicester had a lot of the ball. They dominated most of the second half, but in the end, we get our chance. Daniel Podence, beautiful strike from range. And that was all really. But we saw, like I said earlier, a return for Pedro Neto. The first time he was back in a matchday squad for about 12 months. So to see Bruno bring him straight on was quite a surprise. But he looked like his old self, Glenn. He looked like he hadn't even been injured. So it was really, really good. But a lot of people have said it, the best teams always win even when they don't play well. So and that's what happened with Wolves. If we want to get European football at the end of the season, then they are the type of games that we've got to be winning.
Talked about your defensive record last time out, and after Saturday, City conceding 3 goals to Tottenham, there was a time you actually joined top. I think Saturday night you had conceded 17 and they had also conceded 17. So basically, you had the best defensive record in the league for around 24 hours until you considered against Leicester, but still very, very good. So obviously we played you guys 2 weeks ago. I think you predicted 2-1 to Wolves, and I predicted 2-1 to Arsenal. It was only on goal. And the weird thing about that game is that we were talking about not conceding set pieces. I was quite happy that we scored a set piece against you, and now we are the only team that have conceded from a set piece, which is crazy. So let's take a look at how your lineup and how our lineup looked last time. So we'll focus on yours on the right. So this was your lineup: Sarr, Semedo, Kilman, Cody, Saiz, Masal, Dendonka, Neves, Trincao, Jimenez, Podence. You said a couple of players have come back. So do you expect it to be the same this time?
Well, since that game against Arsenal, he's actually changed the formation in both of the games. There we played two in the midfield, which was Dendoncker and Neves, and then sort of two wingers and an attacker. Whereas in the Tottenham game and in the Leicester game, he's played three central midfielders. So it'll be interesting to see if he sticks to the three central midfielders. If he does, I'd expect Martinelli to come in for Trincao, and also Ryan Aït-Nouri coming in for Marcel. But other than that, it's probably going to be very similar to that. Jimenez and Podence up front. I think it'll be a very similar lineup. So I would say, that three in the midfield. It wouldn't surprise me to see that on Thursday.
So, Wang is back, as you said. Neto will start. I don't think he'll start. Is he ready to start yet?
I don't think so. Although I'd love it, I don't think Bruno would risk it. I think he'll be sort of a super sub, ready to come off. I would imagine him to start on the bench, but I think he'll get minutes against Arsenal. I think he'll come onto the pitch probably in the second half.
So in general, what did you make of that game we played last week? I'll come to the stats later, but did it go how you expected it to go?
It was disappointing, really. I thought we played quite well for the first 10-15 minutes of the game, and then obviously, gave away that goal. It was disappointing, but at the same time, I think Wolves just didn't offer enough. We attacking wise, we made it far too easy for Ramsdale and the defence. I think Gabriel and Ben White had quite an easy day at the office. We didn't put enough pressure on them whatsoever, so that was disappointing that we didn't have enough opportunities. I thought we restricted Arsenal quite well. I think Lacazette probably should have scored his chance in the second half, to be fair. But other than that, it was quite an even game. And obviously the red card changed it. Wolves had a lot of momentum going towards the end of the game. But even when you guys had 10 men, we never looked like scoring really either.
Yeah, so I've not had an opinion from a Wolves fan. Did you think this was a red card, Dave, surely?
I think it was, personally, but my friend is an Arsenal fan. I had a conversation with him about it over the weekend, and he doesn't think it is. I can see both sides of the argument. For me, it's two bookable offences, but I can see an Arsenal argument as well. You've never seen it before in the Premier League. Why is Martinelli? How does Martinelli already know he's on a booking? I sort of get that, but for me, it's two bookable offences. I thought it was good refereeing at the time.
Awesome. So in terms of your stats from that game, you actually had 58% possession, 42 for us. Obviously, most of it was after we went down to 10 men. You had 15 shots, you only had 12. You had 4 on target, you had 2. You had 7 on target, we had 3. We had more shots blocked, you had more corner kicks, more offsides for us, fouls almost the same. We had so many yellow cards in that game. I even thought our party were going to get sent off in the second half. So one red card, obviously the 4th red card already for us this year. We had 2 big chances. He actually didn't have a big chance, but he actually had a goal disallowed in the second half. Until now, I don't know why that goal is disallowed. I still don't feel like it was offside.
I think Jimenez was just off, I think. Yeah, I think he was just. But
it was an on goal from Xhaka, so I've still not understood it until now. So goalkeeper actually had 4 shots to save. Your goalkeeper only had 1. So that's the most interesting part. So in terms of the stats, you actually dominated it. So did you actually realize that? Because you said that you didn't play well, but in terms of stats, you actually dominated us.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. Like I said earlier, I think it was a very equal game. I think it would have been interesting to see what the stats would have been like if you guys had 11 men. I think so, because of the red card, it's tipped towards our favour a little bit, but very equal match, as it has been ever since Wolves got back promoted. Us and Arsenal, we always have very close games.
Awesome. So when we recorded that 2 weeks ago, you were 2 points behind us, and guess what? You are still 2 points behind us again. I actually do expect. So I ask you again, where do you expect to finish? Which position, if you're to be asked, in the next 14 games, which position will you be?
Oh, it's strange because obviously a lot of fans, a lot of pundits still talking about us getting European football, and it feels like we're getting closer to the end of the season, but there's still so many games left to play. I just want us to get into European football. I think I said 9th at the start of the season. Seeing how well we're doing now, we've got a better points tally than we have in any of our last 3 seasons at this position. I'd take 7th place. I think 7th or 6th, but I think Arsenal and United as squads are stronger than us. Spurs have got the players as well. I think it's West Ham really that are the team that we've got to try and aim to get over. But I would take 7th. As long as it guarantees us European football, I'd take 7th right now, Glenn.
I think you'll finish ahead of West Ham. I actually do think both of us will finish ahead of West Ham. I can see them finishing 7th or 8th. So it's a matter of Tottenham, whether Tottenham is going to finish ahead of Arsenal or Wolves. But you played really, really well against them last time out. So what's your prediction for this one?
I think it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, seeing how Arsenal played. I think I'm going to go 1-1 draw. I'm going to go Arsenal 1, Wolves 1. I'd say Jimenez to score again, getting back on the score sheet.
First time at the Emirates since his injury, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been over a year now. So I'm hoping he can start scoring more goals. We've not seen enough goals from him. Got a goal against Spurs last week, obviously, but he wasn't fantastic against Leicester. Just hoping that he can. There's a few fans starting to doubt him a little bit, so I'm hoping he can silence a few of those doubters.
Yeah, after we recorded that last week, I heard that Wolves were putting so many crosses into the box the last 2 seasons with Jimenez, and this season you're not putting any crosses because of his injury. Do you think you can carry him on for the next 2 seasons again with that injury? Because I feel like it's putting you down in terms of crosses. You can't cross the ball sometimes.
I'm not sure, because in the he still goes up for lots of headers. He still challenges for headers. Like yesterday, he was beating the likes of Soyuncu in aerial battles and so on.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just think the way we play, especially with Podence, if you're getting the ball on the wing, you've only got Jimenez and then a really small forward. So I don't know. I think it's just how Wolves like to play at the moment. But it was frustrating against Arsenal that we were trying to cross the ball in, and you had Ben White and Gabriel who were going to win the headers every time. So that was quite frustrating. But yeah, hopefully we can see him, Glenn, start to score some more goals.
But surprisingly, I'm actually scared of you guys now than we are at the Molineux. I'm not sure why, but you went to Tottenham and won.
Yeah.
You obviously went to Man United and won as well. You went to City, only considered a penalty. I mean, that's why I'm very, very scared of you guys. So I'm actually going to go for a win, but another very close game. So 2-1 to Arsenal. So I hope your strikers are not as bright as your room right now.
I know. I was going to say the sun has decided to bright. There we go.
I hope your strikers are not as bright as that. So one more question for you. If you had to take one player from Arsenal right now to improve your squad, who would you take?
Oh, I think I've said him before. I'll go with. But I don't know where he'd play. I'd probably go Saka. I like Saka. Yeah, English as well, but can play pretty much everywhere. So I'll take Saka.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much for coming on again.
My pleasure, man. Thank you very much.
Awesome, man. Obviously, it was a bit shorter than last time because we literally just played them 10 days ago, but you got to what you needed to get to. So let us know your predictions for the game in the chat, in the comment section. Sorry, and thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and we'll catch up with you guys very, very soon.